Hello once again. Thank you for listening. I'm going to continue with Genesis, reading the Bible from the New Jerusalem Pocket Version. I'm going to read today, or this evening, Genesis chapter 13, Psalm 13, and Matthew 13. I hope you'll be blessed. I hope you'll be healed. I hope the Lord will touch you. Abraham and Lot separate. From Egypt, Abraham returned to the Negev with his wife and all he possessed, and Lot with him. Abraham was very rich in livestock, silver and gold. By stages he went from Negev to Bethel, where he had first pitched his tent, between Bethel and Ai, at the place where he had formerly erected the altar. There Abram invoked the name of Yahweh. Lot, who was travelling with Abram, had flocks and cattle of his own, and tents too. The land was not sufficient to accommodate them both at once, for they had too many possessions to be able to live there. Dispute broke out between the herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and those of Lot. The Canaanites and Perizzites were living in the country at the time. Accordingly, Abraham said to Lot, "We do not want discord between us, or between my herdsmen and yours, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land open before you? Go in the opposite direction to me. If you take the left, I shall go right. If you take the right, I shall go left." Looking round, Lot saw all the Jordan plain, irrigated everywhere. This was before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Yahweh, or the land of Egypt, as far as Zoar. So Lot chose all the Jordan plain for himself, and moved off eastward. Thus they parted company. Abram settled in the land of Canaan. Lot settled among the cities of the plain, pitching his tents on the outskirts of Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were vicious and great sinners against Yahweh. Yahweh said to Abram, after Lot had parted company from him, "Look all round from where you are, to north and south, to east and west. For all the land within sight I shall give to you and your descendants forever. I shall make your descendants like the dust on the ground. When people succeed in counting the specks of dust on the ground, then they will be able to count your descendants too. On your feet, travel the length and breadth of the country, for I mean to give it to you." So Abram moved his tent, and went to settle at the oak of Mamre, at Hebron, and there he built an altar to Yahweh. The word of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Now going to read Psalm 13, a confident appeal. How long, Yahweh, will you forget me? Forever? How long will you turn away your face from me? How long must I nurse rebellion in my soul, sorrow in my heart day and night? How long is the enemy to domineer over me? Look down, answer me, Yahweh my God. Give light to my eyes, or I shall fall into the sleep of death. For my foe will boast, I have overpowered him, and my enemies have the joy of seeing me stumble. As for me, I trust in your faithful love, Yahweh. Let my heart delight in your saving help. Let me sing to Yahweh for his generosity to me. Let me sing to the name of Yahweh the Most High. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Now going to read from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13. Glory to you, O Lord. Introduction. The same day Jesus left the house and sat by the lakeside, but such large crowds gathered round him that he got into a boat and sat there. The people all stood on the shore, and he told them many things in parables. The parable of the sower. He said, "Listen. A sower went out to sow. As he sowed, some seeds fell on the edge of the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Others fell on patches of rock where they found little soil and sprung up at once, because there was no depth of earth. But as soon as the sun came up, they were scorched, and not having any room, they withered away. Others fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Others fell on rich soil and produced their crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Anyone who has ears should listen." Why Jesus speaks in parables. Then the disciples went up to him and asked, "Why do you talk to them in parables?" In answer he said, "Because to you is granted to understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not granted. Anyone who has will be given more, and will have more than enough, but anyone who has not will be deprived even of what he has. The reason I talk to them in parables is that they look without seeing, and listen without hearing or understanding. So in their case, what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah is being fulfilled. Listen and listen, but never understand. Look and look, but never perceive. This people's heart has grown coarse, their ears dulled. They have shut their eyes tight to avoid using their eyes to see, their ears to hear, their heart to understand, changing their ways and being healed by me. But blessed are your eyes because they see, your ears because they hear. In truth, I tell you, many prophets and upright people long to see what you see, and never saw it, to hear what you hear, and never heard it." The parable of the sower explained. So pay attention to the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom without understanding, the evil one comes and carries off what was sown in his heart. This is the seed sown on the edge of the path. The seed sown on patches of rock is someone who hears the word and welcomes it at once with joy. But such a person has no root deep down and does not last. Should some trial come or some persecution on account of the word, at once he falls away. The seed sown in thorns is someone who hears the word, but the worry of the world and the lure of riches choke the word, and so it produces nothing. And the seed sown in rich soil is someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who yields a harvest and produces now 100-fold, now 60, now 30. The parable of the darnel. He put another parable before them. The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. While everybody was asleep, his enemy came, sowed darnel all among the wheat, and made off. When the new wheat sprouted and ripened, then the darnel appeared as well. The owner's labourers went to him and said, "Sir, was it not good seed that you sowed in your field? If so, where did the darnel come from?" He said to them, "Some enemy has done this." And the labourers said, "Do you want us to go and weed it out?" But he said, "No, because when you weed out the darnel, you might pull up the wheat with it. Let them both grow till the harvest, and at harvest time I shall say to the reapers, first collect the darnel and tie it in bundles to be burnt, then gather the wheat into my barn." The parable of the mustard seed. He put another parable before them. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed which a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of the small seeds, but when it is grown, it is the biggest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air can come and shelter in its branches. The parable of the yeast. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like the yeast a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour till it was leavened all through. The people are taught only in parables. In all this Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. Indeed, he would never speak to them except in parables. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet. "I shall speak to you in parables, unfold what has been hidden since the foundation of the world." The parable of the darnel explained. Then leaving the crowds, he went to the house, and his disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable about the darnel in the field." He said in reply, "The sower of the good seed is the Son of Man. The field in the world, the good seed, is the subject of the kingdom. The darnel, the subjects of the evil one, the enemy who sowed it, the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. The reapers are the angels. Well then, just as the darnel is gathered up and burnt in the fire, so it will be at the end of time. The Son of Man will send his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all causes of falling and all who do evil, and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth. Then the upright will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Anyone who has ears should listen." Parables of the treasure and the pearl. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone has found. He hides it again, goes off in his joy, sells everything he owns, and buys the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he finds one of great value, he goes and sells everything he owns and buys it. The parable of the dragnet. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a dragnet that is cast in the sea and brings in a haul of all kinds of fish. When it is full, the fishermen bring it ashore. Then sitting down, they collect the good ones in baskets and throw away those that are no use. This is how it will be at the end of time. The angels will appear and separate the wicked from the upright, to throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth. Conclusion. "Have you understood all these?" they said. "Yes." And he said to them, "Well then, every scribe who becomes a disciple of the kingdom of heaven is like a householder who brings out from his storehouse new things as well as old." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening. May the peace of Christ remain with you. May you ponder on these words, and if you have time, get someone to help you read them again if you have foresight, or listen again. May God be with you and God bless you until next time. Thank you so much.